Hey guys, in today's video, I'm going to share with you how to add a gradient background to your Squarespace site. We've got two different options to try. The first is going to be using Squarespace's background art, and the second is going to be Canva. Let's dive in. Alright, so I'm in the back end of the site now. I'm going to go ahead and open up our page editor. We'll navigate over to edit section here and then go to the background tab. And as you can see, we have an image, video, or art option. I'm going to go ahead into art here. And the gradient option we have available is going to be the second from the bottom here. It's going to pull your color palette that you've already set on your site so we can adjust some settings. We'll click in edit settings here, and as you can see, there's a starter color and an end color. If you're not sure where to start, a fun way to get it going is by using this here. So this is the randomizer. You can just shuffle through the settings to see. Even though this is the gradient option, there's a lot of different ways that we can style it. So if we click through the shuffle settings really quickly, we can see how many different ways we can really customize this, right? We'll go into the settings, and this way we can fine-tune things. With the starter color, I think that's good. End color is good. We can also invert it as well, as you can see here. So I do like the white on that side better. So let's go into the shape and do it like this for the gradient. An easy way to get familiarized with all the different settings is just remember where it is now. So let's say, for example, -65. I'm just going to play around with this to see what it does to change this. So that means how far the darker color is moving over. I liked it at around 90, so that's fine. Angle is at 319, so that's basically going to be this, right? I actually like it more white on top, so we'll just put it there. We can go into the texture option here, and this is basically telling us these little seeds. As you can see, I'll try to zoom in, that part. We can play around with this as well. Complexity. Okay. I think honestly, this might be good. There's also noise too. Noise meaning like how much of that seed or like how intense it is, right? It's at 31 now. Maybe I want it even more intense. We'll go that way. It doesn't look good. I might just go a little bit so it's not as harsh. Scale is basically like how much of that you see. You can see the farther I go to the right, the bigger they are. I'll just leave it there. I like a little smooth gradient, and that's pretty much it. So that's how you add a gradient using Squarespace's background art. Another option that I like is Canva's apps as well. As a note, we want to make sure that the canvas size is similar to what a full width image would look like on your site. And so for reference, that's going to be 2500 width by 1060 height. So once we have that set, I'm going to go over to the apps here. I'm going to click in, and then I'll just type in gradient. I'll show you guys my favorite that I like to use, this gradient generator. So I'll go back into my site here, and I'll go to site styles, and this is just quick access for me to be able to get the hex codes that I need. So I want some white in there, so I'll go ahead, select that, and then I'll put this in. I'm really just referencing the color palette so I can create a gradient that's on brand to my, brand colors. If you're open to playing around with colors entirely, you can totally skip this step. But what I like to do is have the palette available so I can quickly go in between my windows here and copy and paste just like this. And then what you can do is lock your color palette, and then from here you can just randomize. So I'm going to go through these really quick. These are super cool. So the reason why I like using this Canva alternative for a gradient is there's the opportunity to add more colors. With the Squarespace background art, you can only have 2 colors at a time. So this is a fun way to use multiple of your brand colors. And there's also different shapes as well. So you'll see that some of them are horizontal, and then some are like more rounded and soft. And what you can do too is just add to the design whichever ones you like. So I'll just keep going and then add to design. And you'll see it stacks on top of one another. What I'll do is use this first canvas as like my top choices of gradients. And then what I'll do after that is just copy and paste it into that new canvas. I'll make sure that I set it as the background image. If you want it a different direction, you can do that as well. So then you've got this nice kind of custom gradient, right? Okay, once we're done with this, what I'll do is download it. So when you're downloading, make sure that it's actually a JPEG. We don't want big file sizes, okay? SEO best practices in mind here. And I'll make sure to select the gradient background I want, which is page 2 here. Once I'm done, I'll download that. Okay, I am now in my Squarespace site. Let's add that background gradient I created in Canva. So what I'll do is go to edit section here. I'm gonna go ahead and just remove this and then go over to image, upload file. And as you can see, it's added, which is awesome. Sometimes I will say the image can look a little stretched out. If you look closely, it's blurry. Another option is actually going into image effect here, and you'll see there's this kind of static one. This is basically just going to give us some additional noise so that it doesn't look as obvious that it's blurry. And so what I'll do is lower the intensity just a little bit, and then I'll turn off the animation. And so as you can see, it's added this nice texture so it doesn't look as blurry. You can change the intensity if you want a lot or you just want a little bit. Usually I go for the lighter end so it's not super duper blurry, but it's not super obvious as well. Once we're done, we'll go ahead and hit save and exit. And that's it. That's how you add gradient to your Squarespace site.